You are now listening to the Vegan Stuff podcast with Caavakushi.
Hosting this podcast today are our two AI hosts, Sam and Kim. If you simply can't get enough of us, go to caavakushi.com and sign up for our vegan newsletter and get our free 7-day high-protein vegan meal plan. And we also have some good news. We will be releasing our first ever cookbook pretty soon, so stay tuned. Hey, don't forget to follow us on our socials too.
All right, so we're back for another deep dive, and today we're taking a look at the one and only Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, she's an amazing actress, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And what really caught our attention, and I think a lot of yours too, judging by the requests we got, is her commitment to veganism. Mm-hmm. We got a ton of articles, interviews, all sorts of stuff, so let's jump right into it and see what we can uncover.
Okay, so one thing that's kind of interesting right off the bat is that her journey to veganism, which was around 14 years ago, didn't really start with the typical ethical concerns.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of get into veganism because of documentaries or, something like that, right?
Exactly, but for her, it was all about her health. She was dealing with constant fatigue, getting sick all the time. It makes sense that she'd look for answers in her diet.
Totally. And, I think a lot of people can relate to that, right? Feeling run down and just not being at your best.
Right. It's not always about animal rights from day one. Sometimes it's just about wanting to feel better.
And so how did she actually make that shift towards veganism?
Well, apparently a friend suggested she try a 2-week raw vegan diet while she was filming a movie. But you know what? The first week, she said it was absolutely miserable.
Oh no, rough start.
Yeah, but then, get this, the second week, her energy just skyrocketed.
Oh wow, that's a pretty dramatic turnaround. So what made her stick with it after those initial 2 weeks? I mean, besides the whole energy boost, was there something more?
Yeah, she actually noticed that whenever she wasn't strictly plant-based, she would start feeling sick again. There's a quote from Vegan Food and Living that says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but basically, she gets sick if she doesn't stick to a plant-based diet.
Huh, so it sounds like her body was giving her some pretty clear feedback.
Totally. And to really drive that point home, there was this one time after the initial 2 weeks where she tried to reintroduce fish and risotto, and guess what? She felt awful.
Okay, so the body was definitely saying, nope, not for me.
Exactly. So yeah, she did raw vegan for about 9 months and then transitioned to just being vegan. It's kind of like that initial experiment, even though it started for purely personal health reasons, ended up setting the stage for her to explore the ethical side of things later on.
Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot. People start making changes for themselves, and then they start thinking about the bigger picture.
It's like a gateway, almost.
Totally.
Yeah.
And speaking of the bigger picture, she's become pretty outspoken about the ethical and environmental reasons for being vegan.
Yeah, over time, those reasons have definitely become front and center for her. I mean, there's this quote from animalrights.org where she says, and I'm quoting directly here, "I don't want to torture anything. I guess it's about trying to live a life where I'm not contributing to the cruelty in the world."
That's a powerful statement. It really goes beyond just personal health, doesn't it? It's about a whole philosophy of minimizing harm.
Absolutely. And it's not just talk either. She backs it up with action. Like, she's a big supporter of the Adopt, Don't Shop initiative.
Yeah, which is huge for animal welfare, right? Encouraging people to rescue rather than buying from breeders.
Exactly. And she's also invested in Beyond Meat, which really shows she's putting her money where her mouth is when it comes to supporting sustainable and animal-friendly food options.
Okay, so it's not just about what's on her plate. It's about actually making a difference in the food system as a whole.
Exactly. And speaking of food, it's clear that Jessica isn't just avoiding animal products. She's really embracing the whole vegan foodie thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like she's pretty passionate about vegan cooking.
Oh, totally. She even went to the Natural Gourmet Institute in New York back in 2012 for chef training.
Wow. Like professional chef training, that's dedication. It shows that for her, this is so much more than just a diet.
Right. It's like a whole culinary adventure. And she actually loves to cook.
What are some of her go-to dishes?
Well, sources mention that she loves making soups, stews, all those warm, cozy meals, especially during the colder months. She's also a big fan of roasted veggies.
Classic. I can definitely see her whipping up a delicious roasted veggie spread.
Totally. And she's got this whole philosophy about food as medicine, which is interesting. She even uses licorice root tea for immune support.
I love that. Like her kitchen is her own personal apothecary.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And she's got those comfy weekend traditions, too, like making vegan banana pancakes.
Oh, those sound delicious. I wonder what her secret ingredient is.
We may never know, but the Rachel Attard source mentions a few basic ingredients, so it's probably a pretty adaptable recipe. You could totally experiment and come up with your own twist on it.
Oh, I'm definitely going to try that. And, she's not afraid to get a little more adventurous in the kitchen either, right?
Oh, absolutely. She also makes vegan spring rolls with cauliflower tempura.
Oh, wow. I've never even thought of that.
Right. And the Rachel Attard article actually goes into some detail about the ingredients. Pickled shallots, edamame sauce. It sounds so gourmet. It just goes to show that vegan food can be so creative and anything but boring.
Absolutely. And hey, even vegans get cravings for those classic comfort foods.
Oh, for sure. And you know what she does? She makes these amazing vegan cheeseburgers.
Vegan cheeseburgers, really? Tell me more.
Yeah, she uses Beyond Burger patties, vegan cheese, and all the fixings, grilled veggies, pickles, the whole 9 yards. It's a good reminder that you can still enjoy your favorites just with a plant-based twist.
Definitely. It's about finding those delicious alternatives. It's funny, though. I never thought I'd see the day when a turkey dog was considered an alternative to chicken.
Oh, yeah, the help story is wild.
I can't believe they made a vegan fried chicken out of a turkey dog and tofurkey and then battered it and deep fried it.
It's true, and she talks about it in a few different interviews. And you know what? She said that because she hadn't had meat in such a long time, if they had given her real chicken to eat, she wouldn't have been able to do this scene.
Oh, that's amazing. She really stuck to her guns there, even when it came to movie magic. And speaking of sticking to her guns, she's also big on minimizing animal products in other areas of her life, right? Not just the food.
Yeah, totally. She always adopts her animals, which is awesome. And she's really vocal about choosing cruelty-free products.
Especially for the red carpet. I remember reading an interview where she talked about how, as she became more successful in the industry, she started to learn more about the darker side of the fashion world. And that really pushed her to focus on ethical and sustainable choices.
Yeah, and there's this great quote from One Green Planet where she says, "I very strongly believe in buying products that are cruelty-free." It makes sense, given everything we know about her commitment to animal welfare.
For sure. It's like she's taken that vegan philosophy and applied it to all aspects of her life, from her diet to her wardrobe.
Right, and this all ties back to her overall approach to well-being, too. You know, she has this really interesting weekly routine.
Oh, yeah, her green juice fast.
Every Monday, she does a full-on green juice fast. It's mentioned in quite a few sources.
Wow, that's serious dedication. What's her reasoning behind that?
She talks about wanting to start the week in a quiet place and let her body and mind kind of reset. She's all about mental clarity, listening to her body's signals.
Yeah, and that mindfulness aspect is really cool. It's like she's intentionally creating space for self-reflection.
And in a Celibici interview, she literally says, "It's a sense of giving myself a moment to be clear and allowing my body to reset. It helps me start the week." But, you know, she's also quick to point out that this might not be the right approach for everyone.
Yeah, that's important. We all have different bodies, different needs, different lifestyles. What works for one person might not work for another. And speaking of different lifestyles, it's interesting to look at how her veganism has impacted her family.
Oh, yeah. Her mom's story is so heartwarming.
Right. She was the first vegan in the family, kind of like a trailblazer, but then her mom came to visit her in LA, and while she was there, decided to eat vegan for those few weeks.
And get this. She lost a bunch of weight and had so much energy that she actually went vegan herself when she went back home.
That's amazing. Talk about leading by example, right?
It's like the ultimate testimonial.
Totally. But wait, it gets even better.
Yeah.
Jessica then bought her mom a vegan food truck.
Yeah. It's called Seed on the Go. How cool is that? Like, she saw how passionate her mom was and decided to support her in such a tangible way. Apparently, before the food truck, her mom even had a vegan restaurant.
So it's like a whole family affair now.
Right. It's really sweet how Jessica's commitment kind of rippled outward and influenced her family.
Totally. It makes you wonder what her family dinners are like.
I know, right? All that delicious vegan food.
Did you know we have a vegan search engine, a vegan forum, a vegan newsletter, and so much more coming soon? So why not check us out at Caavakushi.com.
But you know, it hasn't always been smooth sailing on the food front, especially with her in-laws.
Oh yeah, the Italian in-laws. I think she mentioned in an interview that she was worried they might hate her for being vegan.
Well, you know, Italian cuisine, it's very traditional, often meat-centric. It's definitely a different food culture.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She even told a funny story about how even after explaining that she's vegan, they still keep offering her fish during holiday meals. It's like a classic example of the well-intentioned but slightly clueless relative offering food they think is okay because it's just fish.
Oh my God, I've totally been there. It's the vegan struggle, for sure. It's a good reminder that navigating those cultural differences can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah, but she seems to have a good sense of humor about it, which is so important.
Okay, so we've talked about food, family, but how does her veganism play out on set, in her career?
Well, there's that amazing story from The Help where she had to eat fried chicken in a scene.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
And since she's vegan, obviously that wasn't going to fly. So the production team came up with this, unique solution.
Let me guess. Tofu chicken.
Not quite. They made it out of a turkey dog and tofurkey. Battered it, deep fried it, the whole works.
No way.
Yeah, and she talks about it on Jamie and Jimmy's Friday Night Feast. She called it pretty disgusting and said it was like a vegan tofu hot dog on a popsicle stick.
Oh, that's hilarious. It sounds pretty awful, but hey, points for creativity. And it shows just how committed she is to maintaining her veganism, even when it comes to movie props.
Right. It's like no compromise.
And it's not just about the food either. She's really mindful about other aspects of her career as well, isn't she? Like the roles she chooses, her advocacy work, all that.
Oh, for sure. She's known for supporting women's rights and LGBTQ plus rights, which is awesome.
Absolutely. It's clear that social justice is really important to her. And that definitely seems to influence the kind of role she takes on.
Yeah, she's been pretty vocal about choosing roles that portray women as strong, intelligent, capable.
Which is so important. We need more of that in Hollywood, for sure.
I know, right? Like the brilliant physicist in Interstellar, the mission commander in The Martian, those are powerful roles. And she said in interviews that she wants to be part of moving the conversation forward, creating more positive and empowering images of women, not just for young girls, but for everyone.
Yeah, representation matters. And it's not just about what she does on screen. She uses her platform to speak out about issues she cares about, like at the 2023 Venice Film Festival, where she wore a shirt in support of the SAG-AFTRA strike.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It was so cool. It shows she's not afraid to use her voice and take a stand for what she believes in.
Definitely. And of course, we can't forget that PETA named her sexiest vegetarian back in 2012.
Which, I mean, she totally is. But it's more than just that, right? It's about her commitment to the cause, to animal rights.
Yeah, that's a big part of her advocacy work, like her partnership with HSUS, the Humane Society of the United States. And she's done interviews, like one in People magazine, where she specifically makes animal rights the main topic of conversation.
Yeah, and she said some really powerful things like, I've adopted every animal I ever had. I believe in buying cruelty-free products. I'm not so interested in making myself small. And I'm not so interested in other women making themselves small and being ignored.
I love that. It really ties everything together. Her veganism, her animal advocacy, her support for women, it's all connected.
It's a really inspiring message. And, looking ahead, there's one more aspect of her life that people are naturally curious about, and that's her approach to parenting.
Yeah, her daughter, Julieta.
Yeah.
It's got to be interesting raising a child with those values.
Julieta was born via surrogate sometime around late 2017, early 2018. And while Jessica hasn't explicitly confirmed anything about her daughter's diet, it seems pretty likely that she's raising her vegan, right? I mean, given everything we know about her commitment.
Yeah, I'd say it's a pretty safe bet. And there's definitely precedent for it. A lot of vegan celebrities like Alicia Silverstone and Kat Von D are raising their kids vegan.
Right. It's becoming more and more common. And it makes sense that someone like Jessica, with her deep understanding of the health and ethical considerations, would want to pass those values on to her daughter.
For sure. Of course, ultimately, it's a personal choice, but it's something a lot of people are interested in, especially those who admire her and her lifestyle.
And, it's been really interesting to take this deep dive into Jessica Chastain's world. It's so clear that her veganism isn't just some trendy diet. It's this deeply rooted and constantly evolving aspect of who she is.
Oh, absolutely. She started with wanting to feel better, and that journey led her to this whole philosophy of compassion and well-being, not just for herself, but for animals, for the planet, for other women. It's pretty inspiring, actually.
It is, and it's cool to see how it's all intertwined, her personal choices, her career, her activism. It's like she's living proof that you can really make a difference in the world by aligning your actions with your values.
is definitely food for thought for all of us, right? Makes you think about how your own choices reflect your values and how maybe you can make a little bit of a difference too.
Yeah, and maybe even try those vegan cheeseburgers.
Oh yeah, those are definitely on my list now. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everyone.
And keep those deep dive requests coming. We love exploring these fascinating topics with you. See you next time.
Did you know we have a vegan search engine, a vegan forum, a vegan newsletter, and so much more coming soon? So why not check us out at Caavakushi.com. Thanks for listening. We hope you liked this episode. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you could give us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to this podcast on. Also, we would be so appreciative if you could just share this episode or this podcast with all your friends and family who are vegans or vegan friendly. We're also really excited because we are going to be launching something really cool pretty soon on the site, so keep an eye out for that. And we will see you really soon with a new episode.
Yeah.